In today's episode, Anne asks, how does TikTok directly or indirectly affect content marketing? Well, let's start with the obvious. If you create content, it can go on TikTok, right? It's a distribution channel. That's a pretty straightforward answer. And so if you're creating content that is helpful to people, provides some value, maybe it's entertainment, maybe it's education, whatever, and you're posting it on TikTok, it's going to do well, right? If you can create a community, if you can feed that community with your content, it'll do well. But here's the twist, especially with services like TikTok, and this goes for Instagram too, it goes for Facebook, etc. It goes for really any major social network. Social networks are used by many people as search engines, right? That's not their stated intent. That is not what they're designed for, but it doesn't stop people from using them as search engines, from discovering stuff, learning stuff, and then running with it. I was on, Instagram the other day, and I was watching this one video, and somebody mentioned this piece of software. I'm like, oh, cool, I'll go try that. It was a discovery engine, right? Another time I was looking for somebody on LinkedIn, and LinkedIn is essentially a search engine for people, right? Think about that. LinkedIn is just a search engine for people. There's plenty of content on there to be searched for as well, but a lot of times you're finding people. Same is true for TikTok. TikTok is a search engine for short-form ideas. Right? If you can find somebody who's talking about the thing that you're interested in, the topic you're interested in, they're creating great videos that have a lot of value, it's a search engine. And you can then obviously optimize your content that you put on TikTok for search, learning how to use hashtags, learning how to appropriately use captions, all those things to help the TikTok algorithm surface your stuff to people who are searching for that thing. I did one of the most popular videos I've ever done on TikTok was on stuff around Ukraine, and it's finding the right community, sharing it with them, and then people find it. People find you, and then share your stuff and promote it, et cetera, et cetera. It's no different than any other social network. So how does search indirectly or directly affect your content marketing? That is the answer for how TikTok does it, right? How does social media affect your content marketing? That is the answer for TikTok as well. There's nothing about TikTok that is so revolutionary and so new and incomprehensible that if you've already got some experience with social media marketing, you can figure out TikTok pretty clearly and pretty quickly. Will you necessarily be great at it? At its unique formats, anywhere from 30-second to 10-minute videos? Maybe you are, maybe you aren't. Maybe use the right filters or whatever. But fundamentally, if you are accustomed to delivering value to your audience in some type of short form video, then your content marketing on TikTok will do very well. And if you understand how people search for things, how people discover things, if you do great market research on your audience, you will find ways to leverage those learnings on TikTok, right? It could be collabs and duets, for example. If you know that there's a certain influencer you want to get in front of, you can spin up a duet or resharing and remixing stuff. There's no shortage of this stuff. Same is true for Snapchat. Snapchat still exists. That's actually very popular in certain parts of the world. And there still are things that directly and indirectly affect your content marketing that way. So there's a lot of opportunity out there. The challenge for all of us is to figure out where our audience is, what they're interested in at those times, and then how they buy, right? If we're talking about marketing, figuring out how somebody buys is the most valuable activity that you can do because it helps you understand the customer journey and then optimize your marketing for it. If you run into a channel like TikTok, for example, and you just start creating stuff without understanding how people buy in your space, you could be wasting an awful lot of time and money because that may not be how people buy. It may not even be how people discover awareness of a certain product or service. They may not use the platform for that. So you've got to do that market research up front so that you can provide value when and where people want it. That is the challenge before you. So that's how TikTok affects content marketing. It's all about a distribution channel and understanding how people use social media and then conforming your marketing to where the audience is. Thanks for tuning in. I'll talk to you soon. If you like this video, go ahead and hit that subscribe button.